Okay, so this is part 2 of how I manifested my dream home. So, in if this is part 2, so if you need to go watch part 1, go look for part 1 first, so this makes sense. So, I left off where I would walk my trailer and envision what rooms they were in the new home that was going to take its place when it was moved and we had the new construction in its place. And so we did that, and we eventually we sold the house, it was moved, and we weren't yet sure on a builder. So on my vision board, I had, which my husband thought was kind of kooky at the time. And it's funny, he really likes vision boards now, but at the time he thought it was really weird. So um in the corner of one of the corners of my vision board, I have Phil Collins in one, and I had this picture of a builder that I got off the internet, and he's up there with a hammer, which builders don't do that, but but he's up there in the trusses in this picture with blue sky behind him, and he's holding a hammer, and he's a builder, right? He represented to me a builder. And I had so what I would do is I would envision this builder, and I had certain qualities that I desired in a builder. So number 1, somebody who was humble, somebody who listened really well. And because this was going to be a custom build, and so because I had found my floor plan, as I talked about in the first video, that was a big thing that I had been searching searching floor plans for about, um, many years. Oh, and a story about that. It's interesting. My mother-in-law lives next door, my husband's mom, and she came over one day. She does not remember doing this. She brought over a Country Living magazine because she loves those magazines, and she came over and she brought it, and it had a really cool, floor plan, and she knew that I wanted one with a garage in the back because I don't really love garages in the front of the house, and we happen to have 2 driveways. We have a farm driveway, an old farm road driveway, um, and then we have one in the back, that went to another trailer way back in the day. And so, it was existing. It was just, this, pea gravel, but it was starting to get grown over, but it was a viable driveway that we could use. So, she actually brought over the floor plan that we used for our home. After all of that searching online, I never really found anything that really hit it, and when she showed it to me, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is our floor plan." And the funny thing is she does not. She's like, "I swear, Shelly, I do not remember ever doing that." I'm like, "It's okay." I think it was just random. She never did that. She never did things like that. So, it was a cool little miracle. So, and we drafted that differently with our drafter. We just kind of tweaked it a little bit, but it was super close. So so we've moved over into the Thompson rental, okay, that I mentioned in the other video. So we've moved over into that rental, and I have my vision board, which at the time was just painter's tape up on my wall in a square. That's what it was. Because my mentor, Kirk Duncan, he had taught me that years before. And so I thought, I'm going to do that. So I had my vision board up on the wall, and in one corner was Phil Collins, and that's a whole other video. And the other one is this picture of a builder. And what I would do is I would envision the qualities of this builder and I would bring him to me. So I would like bring the energy of this builder to me while I'm standing in front of my vision board. And my husband like laughed at me. He thought I was so weird, and I didn't care because because I had done so many things that had worked, and I had learned to just bring the energy of that builder to me so that it was easier to recognize him when I met him. And so that's what I did. I stood in front of my mirror doing this and bringing the energy, intending the energy of this builder to come to me. So Um, so as we would interview builders, we would meet them on their job sites, and they were like, trying to make time for us, and you could tell that it was they I didn't jive with them at all. They weren't the most service oriented builders. Um, and they didn't have our budget in mind. It felt like I would be a number to them. So there was one other builder that I heard of, and so, well, two others. And so I called the first one, and he offered to come right over. And I thought, sure. So he came over when we set up a time so that Heath could be home. And he came in and he looked at our floor plan, and he said, I think I could save you some money right here. I've got some ideas of something that we could do. And he was looking at me and I'm looking at him like, I think we found our guy. Like, first of all, he came to our house. He was humble. He listened. He was very, very patient, which was awesome for me because we've never built a home before. And he was so kind and so gentle. And I have referred so many people to him. His name is Alan Christensen in Shelley, Idaho. Anyway, and he still builds homes. He's amazing. Anyway, and people, how people would just kind of sneak onto the job site, how people like feel like they can do that while a home is being built. Anyway, people would come, like neighbors from the area would come that I go to church with, and they'd say, "Hey, I was in your home the other day," as it's being framed, they're like, "Oh, whoever is doing the framing on your home, they're meticulous. It looks beautiful." And I'm like, "Oh, good. Thank you." Because Alan was doing the framing himself. So anyway, he and his boys. Anyway, I manifested that builder, and we came in under budget too. Like, there were so many miracles that happened with the lighting, that I was able to find lighting online and then took it to the lighting store and said, "Can you beat this? Can you beat this? Can you beat this? Can you beat this?" And they were only able to beat like two of the prices that I found. And they were beautiful lights. Just things like that. We were able to do some of the work ourselves, some of the backsplashes and tiling work and stuff. And it was a miracle that we were able to come in under budget with this home, and making no more money than we were making before, and quadrupled our square footage. And last little thing is, I was building, the business just started. This business just started to take off before we moved into the rental. And it was really starting to go while we were in the rental. And then while we were in the rental, I realized we were pregnant. And that's a whole other story in itself. Because we thought we had been done. And our youngest was 7. We were done. We had 4 other kids and we were done until we weren't. And we weren't going to finish the basement because we had plenty of room on the top level for those 4. Well, with 5, I thought, nope, there's no way. So we finished the basement out, and it didn't cost as much as we thought to finish that basement. So we were building 3 things that year. We were building the business, we were building our home, and building a baby. It was the year of building. And it was just so interesting how everything worked out. And it really is one step at a time. And I have a lot of faith in the creation process when you create with God. And when you have that peace of mind that that you're building the thing that he wants you to build, that you feel good about it inside, about whatever you're building, whatever you're intending, whatever you're bringing into your life, if it's money, or if it's a business, or if it's a dream home, or if it's a better relationship within your family, or if it's letting go of extra weight. Whatever it is, there's a lot of different things that we create. And when we create those things with God and use those manifesting principles of being grateful during the journey, and like being grateful that you're even on the journey, that you're part of the journey, and how exhilarating it is to exercise your faith in that way and do something that you've never done before. It feels like an experiment. It really does. Like every time I do it, it feels like a new experiment, even though I know these principles and I've done them many times to manifest many things. It still feels new and exhilarating. Um, and to take out the timeline and to do those inspired actions that you feel to do, and to flood your brain with that thing that you're manifesting, saying it and thinking it, saying it and thinking it, saying it and thinking it. And sometimes it's writing it too. So I hope that these two videos, part 1 and part 2, have helped you see that it's really possible that somebody like just a normal girl, Idaho girl like me can manifest. You can too. So I hope you have a good one and happy manifesting. If you desire any help with this, reach out to me. I actually have a membership where I help people in the creation with God process. And that is what the whole membership does. It is it's a monthly subscription, and I teach different principles of the creation process. So if that's something that you're interested in, reach out to me or look at other videos, see what else I have here. I have a website too. Find me and you'll be able to find a way to join that membership. Especially if I have it open at the time that you're seeing this video. So take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye.